What up, Marsh Pod? We're back. It's Labor Day. I hope you're enjoying a great long weekend. It's the second part in our TBD durational series of crazy ideas, off-season content. There's some scrimmages going on. Yeah, there's some recruiting news. That's not what we're talking about. We got plenty of time to chat about that. Instead, I want to talk about a second wild idea, and this one we're calling crystal ball decisions, aka dictatorship. Not advocating for dictatorship. Don't think that's a good thing from a civilization, humanity perspective, but for a league, that's what we're going with. So these are crystal ball decisions that if I were in charge and the only one in charge, no one has to fact check me, no one has to approve it. These are the changes that would make to the league, to SimWorld Hoops. This is what it would be. Now, with a caveat, these feel more relevant at the league level, at least the first one that we'll chat about. I don't think the other two. I think the other two could be used at any level. So, amateur, collegiate, professional. That's it. 3 of them. Let's get going. First one, relegation. I cannot tell you how big of a fan of relegation I am. It is the solvent to tanking and bad teams because you have to be good every single time you play, every single year. It forces teams to be competitive. Now, yes, the challenge that you have with relegation is drafts can't really happen because players, it's tough to kind of put that together because teams are moving up and down the totem pole in terms of the different leagues. Salary cap, tough to kind of go, and then you're going to start having the teams with more money, as you see in European football. The teams with more money tend to get the better players, but it makes the authenticity of a team like Leicester City, when they make this incredible run with a minimal budget, with minimal elite players, and they win the Premier League, catches you by surprise. We don't get that in American sports. We just don't. Like it continues to be the big name markets, right? If you look at the NBA, the past couple championships, most part outside of Denver and Milwaukee, you're looking at big time markets, right? Golden State, the Lakers, the Celtics. Those are Lakers and Celtics, both teams with massive markets. The Bulls, the Raptors, which actually is a huge market from a financial standpoint. Dallas, like Miami, Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Denver are anomalies. We don't get them that often. So in truth, this system isn't all that different than the European one, where you continue to get big name markets. You know, teams based in England winning championships, Barcelona winning their league, teams in Paris Saint-Germain winning their league. We're kind of there. We just haven't disincentivized tanking yet. Bring in relegation. Number 2, we're going to change the value of the wins. Hockey and football, European football, base their standings off of points, right? So you get X number of points for a win, X number of points for, I think it's an overtime loss in hockey or a draw in soccer, football, and then obviously no points for a loss. Let's introduce it, but we're not going to go off wins, losses, and draws because we're not tying. Instead, we are going to put a higher emphasis on wins within divisional games, within conference games, and then the lowest would be non-conference. So you used to do like 3 points for a divisional win, 2 points for an interconference win, and then 1 point for a non-conference win. What that does, it creates deep rivalries within the division because those games start to matter so much more. The same goes for interconference games. Yeah, you've got the non-conference matchups, but it starts to make those a little less valuable in favor of making divisional games more valuable. Now, if you are, first you'd have to put H-Town and Lone Star in the same division because that would geographically make sense. I know Texas is the size of a continent, but regardless, now when those two teams play, everything's on the line. Beasts of the East, Gotham 5. Are you kidding me? Originators, Gotham 5, Run DMV. Those games are bloodbaths, not because you play them a little bit more, but because they matter. Then you go to the conference games, they still matter, but just ever so slightly less. We start getting more emotion in these games, more hatred, more. Sports has lost its rivalry because teams are so interchangeable. Players are so interchangeable. Now, when these things matter that much more, they're not so interchangeable. Third thing I'm doing, change the playoffs to a group stage format. Hear me out. 3 divisions in a conference. Top 2 teams from each division are guaranteed to make the playoffs, just like you would see group stage at the World Cup basketball or football, soccer. And try to be respectful of the Europeans calling it football. Group stage gets the top 2 teams from those 3 divisions in. That's 6 teams. Then the next 2 playoff spots are determined by the next 2 best teams, regardless of the division. Again, you start creating so much more value for the divisional games. Sure, there's going to be times where the 4th best team in a division doesn't make the playoffs, or the 5th best team in a division doesn't make the playoffs when a team in another division that's a second is worse than them. I don't care. Be better. Like, win your division. That's it. We're already showing with this new format, divisional games are worth more. Win those games. Win the games of the teams in your division. Go out there and you don't have to worry about it. This always makes no sense to me. Same thing with like NBA playoffs. They're like, oh, we're putting the play in. Well, that means that hypothetically a 10 team could get in, a 7 team won't. I don't know, 7 team, win a game. Literally, you have to win one game. Pull that off. I don't feel sorry for you if you can't do that. Same exact format here. Group stage works at the international level in competition. Bring it into basketball. Those are it. The 3 crystal ball, aka dictatorship decisions of SimWorld Hoops, whether it's professional or future, amateur, or university level. Relegation, change the value of the wins for the division or conference games, and let's bring in group stage format for the playoffs. All right. Remember, we'll put the link in here again. Marsh mailbag is open. Submit your questions, your thoughts, your opinions, and we'll be answering them if we get enough, hopefully starting Friday. All right, have a great day off.